All right, we're in geometry, lesson 5-7. If someone wants to turn the lights off, thank you, Anna.
No, I need
You need a what?
the one on my.
All right. So, today's date is January 31st, 1/31. Make sure your name and the date are on your paper. All right, so let's do some simple vocabulary. I'm talking about angles here, acute and obtuse. Oh, darn, the cards were never passed out. India, you want to do that for us? Thanks. For quiet raised hand, acute. What does that mean? Quiet raised hand. What is acute? A cute little puppy. No, it's the different one. Chewy.
Less than 90.
Less than 90. There it is. Less than 90 degrees. Or if you don't like less than 90 and you want to be efficient, you can say this symbol, 90 degrees. These are both the same thing. Thank you, Chewy. And let's come back over here to geometry. Come on now. Geometry. Let's get our marbles online as well. Get all these systems up.
What is it?
It's about the same as 2 days ago because we keep taking them back out. All right, so Chewy just participated, so thank you. Chewy, there's your 50 XP, and you can turn in your card once it gets passed out. Obtuse. What is obtuse? Emily. Yeah, greater than 90. Greater than 90 degrees, or you can say this symbol, greater than 90 degrees. Thank you, Emily. All right, so from here, we have our law of sines. So there are two different laws that you're going to be learning over the next 2 days, law of sines and law of cosines. The cosines proof is really fun. Law of sines proof is also kind of fun. Here is law of sines. There are three things that are equal to each other. First, I take the sine of this angle. Sine of this big angle A is divided by the angle opposite from it, or the side opposite from it. Lowercase a is the line, or the line segment opposite of this angle. And I'm going to choose another letter. I'm just going to choose B. So it's going to be is equal to sine of capital B divided by what? Quiet raised hand. Easy XP here. Caroline. Lowercase b. Thank you, Caroline. It's as if you already knew what you were doing. Is equal to what over what? Oh. You're good. Martine, yes. Sine of capital C over lowercase c. There it is. There is the law of sines. These fractions, these ratios are all set equal to one another. Capital, take the sine of it over the lowercase version. There it is. Thank you, Martine. And I forgot to do Caroline and Martine, so there they are. And we are on to our special scenario. So, on the homework, you're going to be finding acute angles and obtuse angles. You're going to be finding big angles and small angles. There is a special trick for finding the obtuse angle because on your calculator, you will never be able to do an inverse trig function to get more than 90 degrees, which means your calculator will always give you an acute angle. But what if you're looking for an obtuse angle? Then you need to do this special rule. Your calculator will always give you an acute angle, so to find the obtuse angle, do 180 minus the acute angle. And I'm not going to go super in-depth in why this is the case. It's one of the rules of the trig function sine. If you did cosine, then you would be doing a different rule, but we're not doing law of cosine. We'll be doing that later. This rule goes with our sine rule, so you can make a little note here. This only works with sine. It does not work with cosine. It does not work with tangent. There are different rules for that one. But to find an obtuse angle for sine, you do 180 minus that acute angle. You will find the obtuse angle. Let's see an example. Oh, by the way, for the law of sines, you only need two of these. You could do those two, or you could do maybe those two, or you could maybe do those two like that. You only need two of these in order to solve for unknown angles, unknown sides. All right, so example one. I'm going to find this measure of angle B. Note that B is acute. I will tell you that every single time. Khan Academy will also tell you, just in case it's maybe it could be 90. I don't know if it's slightly bigger, slightly smaller. It will tell you if it's acute or if it's obtuse. All right, I'm going to round to the nearest full number, the nearest degree. How do I set up this problem? This is a hard question to ask because you haven't even seen how to use this yet. But somehow use this theorem, use this formula to solve. What am I going to do? Quiet raised hand. People that still have their card. It's a hard question. Anna, go for it. Sine of 73.
Divided by 14 is equal to, I guess, sine b.
Yep, you can say sine of whatever variable you decide, and you decided to do sine of b. Yeah, that's fine.
Over 11.
Over 11. Yeah, you're correct. Thank you, Anna. Yeah, that was a hard question. You got it. I'm impressed. And if you're thinking that in your head, I'm also impressed that you're able to get it. That is how you set up this problem using the law of sines. And then from here, we just cross multiply and then solve. All right, so who can help us solve this? I basically told us the procedure. What do I do? Tell me what to do. Ellery, go for it.
Do 11 times sine 73 and set that equal to 14 times sine b.
It's going to be equal to, and I'm going to do this multiplication right here, which is going to be 14 times sine of b. Thank you, Ellery. Adding the marbles, adding the rocks. All right. So we've cross multiplied. We can actually find what this number is. Almost really. We can find what this number is on our calculator. We can do that right now. But what we could even do right now is to just isolate b all by itself. I think I'm going to try to isolate b all by itself right now. So how do I do that? What's the next step to get b by itself, to isolate for b? What do I do to both sides of the equation? There's two things. What's the first thing? Go for it, India.
Arc sine.
So you'll take the arc sine once the sine has been isolated. So first isolate the sine.
You want to minus or divide by 14.
Yep, divide by 14 on both sides. And then we're going to keep this like, yeah, we'll just write it down. And then after whoa, what just happened there? After I get the 14 canceled out, then I'm going to do what, India?
Hey, you're going to take the arc sine.
Then I'm going to take the arc sine. So let's write this down. So this is going to be now sine of b is equal to this 11 times sine of 73, all divided by 14. So India just did two steps. The first step was dividing by 14. That's what we currently have written. And I'm going to pause there before I talk about her second step. Let me give her her XP while I'm waiting for people to copy this down. And then India said, okay, well now to get rid of the sine, because we're almost there, to get rid of the sine, I'm going to take the arc sine of both sides. So the arc sine of the right and the arc sine of all of this. So the arc sine of all of that. And then that will get rid of my sines. And I'll be left with b. So b is what I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find the measure of angle b. This is what I'm going to have to do on my calculator. So more calculator work. And I'll show you how to do it on mine. So let's pull up my calculator. Clear everything, clear the memory. All right, so on here, I'm going to do the innermost thing. I'm going to do 73. I'm going to take sine of that. I'm going to multiply by 11, then divide by 14, and then take the arc sine. It's order of operations. First, do this. So sine of 73. 73, and I hit sine. This is sine of 73. From there, I'm going to multiply by 11. Multiply by 11. I hit equal sign. Now I'm going to divide by 14. Divide by 14 equals. Then I'm going to take the arc sine, second sine, and I have my answer. I need someone to help me round to the nearest degree. It says round to the nearest degree. Here's my answer. Quiet raised hand if you have your card still. How do I round this correctly? To the nearest degree, the nearest whole number. How do I round this to the nearest whole number? Someone that still has their card. Otherwise, I'm going to cold call. Yeah, Oscar.
49.
It is 49. So our answer here, B is equal to 49 degrees. Box it. Thank you, Oscar. All right, we're going to do another one. All right, here we go. Example 2. I need someone to help me set up this problem, just like Anna did last time. Help me set up this problem. Use the law of sines. It's 2 ratios. How many people still have their cards? Let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, including Leo's, which means that there are still quite a few cards out there. 10 cards out there. Yeah, Beverly. Sine of 116. Yep. Okay, so you're calling this length AB that we're trying to find, you're calling this length AB X. Okay. Sine of 27 divided by 10. Yeah, thank you. All right. We have the problem set up using the law of sines. What is our next step? It's the same step that we did last time. What's our next step, Gloria? Cross multiply. So read it out for us. Which one are you going to do first? All right, so this is going to be 10 times sine of 116. And then which one do you want to do after that, Gloria? All right, so this is going to be equal to, just re-saying what you said, x times sine of 27. All right, thank you. All right, I need to get x by itself. How do I get x by itself? I'm trying to solve for that unknown. And remember, sine of 27, this is just a number. Sine of 116, that is just a number. Just a number. I know that I could call on Ellery if she still had her card, but I want to see if I can call on someone who hasn't participated yet. I'm going to have to cold call on someone if no one participates in the next 5 seconds. All right, Colby. What am I going to do? So I could actually do that on my calculator. I'm going to do my calculator all at the very end. How do I isolate x right now? Not quite, because arcsine would be if it was trapped all in a sine, but it's not. Right now, x is being multiplied by sine of 27. What's the opposite of multiply by sine of 27? Yep, divide by sine of 27. So divide by sine of 27. Divide this side also by sine of 27. That means that sine of 27 cancels out, and I'm just left with x. And that's going to be equal to all of this stuff. Now I'm going to have to figure out what that is on my calculator. So, order of operations. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to first do 116, take sine of that. Then multiply by 10, and then this is the hard part. Dividing by sine of 27 on my calculator. If you have an Android, then it's a little bit easier because it actually shows you all of the order of operation. If you have an iPhone, it's going to be a little bit harder. Here we go. Calculator work. So, 116. I'm going to take sine of 116. I have now taken sine of 116. From there, I'm going to multiply by 10 times 10. All right. I hit equal sign. This is the numerator. The numerator is 8.988. Now, this is the hard step. Dividing by sine of 27. I'm going to hit divide by, and now I'm going to start some parentheses here. I need to say everything I'm going to do now is going to be divided by whatever I just said. So, start my parenthesis. Now I'm going to say 27, and I'm going to take the sine of that. 27, and I take the sine of 27. Once I end my parentheses, what it's saying now is that is sine of 27, and I hit equal sign. I end my parentheses, just like started, as if this whole denominator was in parentheses, and I hit equals. Our answer was this, and I need to round, what did it say, to the nearest tenth. So I need someone to round this number to the nearest tenth. Quiet raised hand. Otherwise, I get cold call. All right, Aurelio. Read the full answer.
Oh, I don't know. 1980.
19.80.
Yep.
You're really, really close. So this is 19.8. Nearest tenth is just one decimal place.
What?
So if it's one decimal place, Aurelio, instead of 80, it would be just 8,
Yeah,
right?
okay, I don't know.
You basically had it right, because 80 is the same thing as 19.8. All right, and box it. All right, we have our final example in a sec. Aurelio, you are O, right there. Loading, loading, loading. Let's flip over to the back side. All right, we're on the back now. This is what I consider to be one of the most challenging types of problems. Here we go. Someone set up the problem for me using law of sines. Almost everyone is in, so I'm going to have to start cold calling on people. Using the law of sines.
Can I go to the bathroom?
If you're really, really quick. Law of sines. What am I going to do here? I know, you already turned in your card, though. Yeah, Cheyenne. Sine of 46 divided by 16 sine of A divided by 22. Yep, that's correct, Cheyenne. Thank you. Boom. All right. My next step is to do what? My next step. Go for it, Brian. Cross multiply. All right. Which one are you going to do first? 22 times sine of 46. All right. Good. And 16 times sine of A. Yeah, thank you. You can turn in your card, Brian. Good job. All right, from there, what am I going to do? I'm trying to isolate A. This is very similar to example 1. Look back at example 1 if you're unsure what to do. How many cards do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. So there's 4 cards out there. Samantha, yeah, go for it. You do divide both sides by 16. Thank you, Samantha. So now what I have, I'll rewrite the problem. I now have sine of A, sine of capital A on the right, and on the left-hand side I have, just rewriting this, 22 times sine of 46, all of that divided by 16. All right, and what's my final step? Who has not participated yet? Raise your hand if you have not participated yet, if you still have your participation card. I see one person. I feel like most people have, except for... Okay. Yeah, Ellery, go for it. Take the arc sine of both sides, so arc sine of the right, arc sine of the left. And there we go. So those will cancel out these signs, and I'm just left with A is equal to all of this, and I have to put it in on my calculator again. So I need someone to do this on their calculator. See if you get the right answer. All right. I'm waiting for people to work on their calculator so that they can participate. Go for it, Beverly. 81. All right. So let's check it on our calculator as well. So this is going to be 46. I'm going to take the sine of that. I'm going to multiply by 22. I hit equals, and I get this. I'm going to divide that by 16. Hit equals, I get that. And then I take arc sine, second sine, and I get 81.52. Yeah, so Beverly had it correct. However, that's not the full answer because, read the problem once again, everyone.
82.
Round to the nearest degree, we did that. It's 82. But note that A is obtuse. That's the key part. A is obtuse. We're coming all the way back up here to that unused knowledge. Obtuse angle means I'm going to do 180 minus my acute angle. So Beverly was correct that A should be rounded to 82. So we'll back up here and say 82. And then we'll say,
Why does that even matter?
this angle is clearly not 82 because it's way too big. It's bigger than 90 degrees. So we need to use the formula 180 minus this. So obtuse is equal to 180 minus the 82 that we just found, minus 82. And we get what final answer, Beverly? 98. 98 degrees. And box it. Are there any questions? And if you want to ask private questions later, you can. All right, go ahead and write your summaries down.